There's a new mini Quonset model on the market right now listed at under $650. $650. And the first time I saw that number, I didn't believe it either. So I did what I always do on this channel. I pulled the actual listing, I priced out everything it doesn't tell you, and I ran the real numbers on what it takes to turn this thing into a place you could actually live in. I looked at the materials, the assembly process, the foundation requirements, the insulation problem nobody mentions, and what buyers who've actually built one of these are saying after the fact. Because here's the thing, the $650 price tag is real. It's not fake. But what that number actually buys you, and what most people picture when they hear tiny home for under $650, those are two very different things. Stick with me to the end, because I'm going to walk through the entire real budget, show you exactly what the build process looks like step by step, and tell you honestly who this is actually a smart move for, and who's going to be disappointed. Before we get into it, if you're the kind of person who actually wants the real numbers on alternative housing, not the sponsored fluff, this channel is built for exactly that. I'm the host of Homes in Haven, and every video here is unsponsored. Real materials, real costs, no filler. So hit subscribe before you go, because I've got full cost breakdowns on barn-dominiums, prefab kits, passive cooling systems, and off-grid builds dropping every week, and you'll want to see where this one lands. Now let's get into what that $650 actually gets you. So let's start with the listing itself. What's being sold here is a mini Quonset-style arch shell, a curved, corrugated steel frame kit, small footprint, usually somewhere in the range of a garden shed to a small workshop. Think something you'd use for storage, a workshop, a chicken coop, or a bug-out shelter. Not, out-of-the-box, a house. For that price, here's typically what's actually included. The curved steel arch panels and structural ribs, basic fasteners and hardware to bolt the frame together. Sometimes a simple door frame, sometimes not even that. An assembly manual, and in some listings, a basic anchor kit for securing the frame to the ground. What's not included, almost universally, a foundation or base of any kind, insulation, windows, a finished floor, electrical, plumbing, or any utilities, interior framing or finishing of any kind, shipping, in a lot of cases, which can add a surprising chunk to the real out-the-door cost depending on how far the kit has to travel. So structurally, what you're buying is a shell, a weatherproof-ish steel skin with a frame. That's genuinely useful and genuinely cheap for what it is, but it is not a house yet. It's the starting point of a house. And I want to be really clear here, because this matters. This isn't a scam or false advertising. Small arch frame kits like this really can be built and sold for under $1,000 because they're using minimal gauge steel, no insulation package, and a small footprint, usually under 100 square feet. The math checks out. What doesn't check out is the leap some people make from $650 structure to $650 tiny home. Those are not the same claim, and I think it's worth walking through exactly why, because this same gap shows up in a lot of cheap tiny home listings you'll find online. Before we get into cost, I want to take a minute on why this shape even exists, because it actually matters for whether this is a good investment. The Quonset design goes back to the 1940s, developed for the military as a fast-to-assemble, incredibly durable structure that could be shipped in pieces and put up by a small crew in days, not weeks. The name itself comes from Quonset Point, Rhode Island, where the design was first produced, and a huge number of those original structures are still standing today, more than 80 years later, some still in active use. The reason the shape holds up so well comes down to basic physics. A curved arch distributes weight and wind load evenly across the entire structure instead of concentrating stress on a ridge line or corners, the way a traditional peaked roof does. That's part of why Quonset-style buildings have historically performed so well in hurricane and high wind regions. There's no flat vertical wall catching wind like a sail, and there's no weak point at a roof peak. So when you're looking at a mini version of this shape, you're not looking at a gimmick. You're looking at a genuinely proven structural form, just scaled way down and stripped to the bare minimum. That's actually a big part of why I think this is worth a full breakdown instead of just dismissing it. The bones of this thing are legitimately good. The question is entirely about what it costs to finish it out. Let's go a little deeper on the gaps, because this is where the real cost is hiding. The single biggest issue with an uninsulated steel shell is condensation. Builders call it sweating. Steel conducts temperature directly. Warm, moist air inside hits the cold steel skin, and you get water forming on the interior surface. Over time, that leads to rust from the inside, and if there's any wood framing or fabric involved, mold. This isn't a maybe. It's close to guaranteed if you skip a vapor barrier and insulation, especially in humid climates or anywhere with real seasonal temperature swings. The second issue is foundation. A lot of these small arch kits are marketed as sitting directly on the ground or on a simple gravel pad. That might be fine for a storage shed. For anything you're going to insulate, wire, and actually occupy, most jurisdictions are going to want to see some kind of proper base, even if it's a simple pier or runner system, both for moisture control and for anchoring the structure against wind uplift, which arch shapes are actually somewhat vulnerable to if they're not properly secure at the base. The third issue, and this one trips a lot of people up, permitting and zoning. A structure this small might fall under your local shed or accessory structure threshold, which in a lot of places means no permit required. But the moment you add plumbing, a permanent electrical hookup, or declare it as a dwelling, most areas are going to require permitting, inspections, and code compliance. That can mean minimum insulation R values, minimum ceiling heights, egress window requirements, and more. I'll come back to this in a few minutes because it's one of the most common ways people get blindsided on projects like this. Okay, let's build out the real budget, piece by piece, using realistic 2026 material pricing. I'm going to assume a small footprint here, something in the 10 by 12 to 12 by 16 range, which is roughly where these mini Quonset kits land. Foundation. Even a simple gravel pad with a treated wood sill or a basic concrete pier foundation is going to run you anywhere from $500 to $2,000, depending on your site and local soil conditions. If your area requires a full poured slab for code purposes, that number climbs higher, potentially $3,000 to $6,000. Insulation. This is the part almost nobody talks about, and it's a big one with steel structures. Spray foam insulation against the curved steel interior, plus a vapor barrier, typically runs $2 to $4 per square foot installed. For a small shell like this, that's roughly $1,500 to $3,000. Rigid foam panels cut to fit the curve are a cheaper DIY alternative and can bring that number down closer to $800 to $1,500 if you're doing the labor yourself. Flooring. A basic subfloor with insulation underneath and a simple finish floor, vinyl plank for example, lands somewhere around $800 to $1,500 for this size. Windows and doors. Even a minimal setup, one entry door, one or two small windows, runs $600 to $1,500 depending on quality and whether you're going with basic vinyl units or something more insulated. If your area requires an egress window for a legal sleeping space, budget a bit more for a properly rated unit. Electrical, a basic wiring package, a few outlets, some lighting, a small panel, is typically $1,000 to $2,500 if you hire it out, less if you're doing simple work yourself, and it's code compliant in your area. If you're running power from an existing structure rather than a fresh utility hookup, that can save you a meaningful amount. Plumbing. This is where costs swing the most, because it depends entirely on whether you're going off-grid with a composting toilet and simple gray water setup, or tying into a septic and water line. Off-grid minimal setups can be as low as $500 to $1,000. A full bathroom and kitchen hookup tied into a septic system can run $5,000 to $10,000 or more. Interior finishing. Framing out interior walls, adding basic drywall or paneling, trim. Figure another $1,000 to $2,500 for a small space. Ventilation. Often overlooked, but worth budgeting for. A small exhaust fan or two, especially if you're cooking or showering in the space, to help manage the moisture issue we talked about earlier. Figure $150 to $400. So if you add that up on the low end, basic gravel foundation, minimal off-grid plumbing, DIY electrical and insulation, simple finishes, you're looking at roughly $5,500 to $8,500 on top of the $650 shell. That puts a realistic, livable version of this mini Quonset somewhere between $6,150 and $9,150 total. On the higher end, with a proper foundation, full plumbing tied to septic, and a licensed electrician handling the wiring, you could be looking at $15,000 to $20,000 total. And at that point, you're competing directly with small prefab cabin kits and entry-level barndominium shells, which I've covered in other videos on this channel. That's still genuinely affordable compared to traditional construction, where a comparably sized addition could easily run $30,000 to $50,000 or more, depending on your region. But it's a very different number than $650, and I think anyone shopping this category deserves to see that spread laid out honestly before they buy. Let's walk through what actually happens after the kit shows up, because this matters just as much as the cost. Step 1. Site prep. Before anything else, you're clearing and leveling your build site, and this is where your foundation decision gets made. Even a minimal gravel pad needs to be properly compacted, or you'll deal with shifting and drainage problems down the line. Step 2. Base and anchoring. Whether it's a pier system, a sill plate, or a slab, this step is what keeps the arch from lifting in high wind. Skipping proper anchoring is one of the most common mistakes with lightweight arch structures. Remember, the same curved shape that handles wind load so well when anchored can act almost like a sail if it's not secured. Step 3. Frame assembly. This is usually the fastest and most satisfying part. Most small arch kits are designed for a two-person crew to assemble the ribs and panels in a single day or two, using basic hand tools. This is genuinely one of the strongest selling points of the whole category. You don't need a construction crew to get a weather-tight shell up. Step 4. Sealing and weatherproofing. Seams between panels need proper sealant, and any penetrations for future doors, windows, or vents need to be planned and flashed correctly now, before insulation goes in. Step 5. Insulation and vapor barrier. As we covered, this is the step that determines whether you have a functional living space or a future mold problem. This is also typically the most labor-intensive step if you're doing it yourself, since you're working against a curved surface the whole way. Step 6. Interior framing, electrical, and plumbing rough-in. This is where a small interior stud wall system usually gets built out along the curve, giving you a flatter interior surface to finish and somewhere to run wiring and plumbing lines. Step 7. Finishing. Flooring, wall finish, fixtures, and trim. This is the step that turns a technically functional shell into something that actually feels like a home. Realistically, for a motivated DIYer working weekends, you're looking at a project that spans 2 to 4 months from delivery to livable, depending heavily on how much of the electrical and plumbing work you're doing yourself versus hiring out. Now, I don't want this to come across as don't buy this, because for the right person, this is actually a really smart starting point. Here's who I think this genuinely makes sense for: the DIY builder with time and some skills. If you can do your own framing, basic electrical, and aren't afraid of a learning curve, you can push your total cost toward that lower $6,000 to $9,000 range, and you end up with a durable, storm-resistant structure. Someone who wants a phase build, buy the shell now for $650, get it weather-tight, and finish the interior over months or years as budget allows. That's a real strategy people use, and it lowers the barrier to entry significantly compared to needing $10,000 plus up front in one lump sum. A workshop, studio, or guest structure, not a primary residence. Honestly, for a huge number of buyers, this is exactly what it's used for, and at that use case, $650 for a solid steel shell is a genuinely great deal. Full stop. Someone in a high wind or storm-prone region who values structural durability over interior square footage and is willing to trade some finishing budget for a shape that's historically proven to hold up. Who this is not a great fit for: anyone expecting a move-in ready home for $650, anyone in a region with strict code requirements around minimum insulation ratings or foundation types, and anyone who isn't prepared for the condensation and thermal management issues that come with uninsulated steel structures. So how does this actually stack up against other options I've covered on this channel? A basic prefab tiny home kit, wood-framed, SIP panel construction, typically starts around $15,000 to $30,000 for something closer to move-in ready, but you're not starting from a $650 shell. The base kit price already includes insulation and structure. A small barndominium shell, even a modest one, is going to start well north of $20,000 once you account for the metal building package and slab. A tiny home on wheels, built to RV standards, typically starts somewhere in the $25,000 to $60,000 range depending on finishes, but comes with the advantage of mobility and, in a lot of areas, Fewer permitting headaches since it's classified as a vehicle rather than a permanent structure. Where the Quonset shell wins is raw entry cost and durability per dollar. That arch shape is one of the strongest basic structural forms out there. Where it loses is thermal performance and finishing cost, since steel needs more insulation work than a wood frame structure to be comfortable year-round. And it's a permanent structure, so mobility isn't on the table the way it is with a wheeled tiny home. If your priority is lowest possible entry cost, and you're willing to do sweat equity over time, the mini Quonset route is hard to beat. If your priority is a fast, mostly finished livable space, and you have $20,000 plus to spend, a prefab SIP kit is probably the better fit. And if mobility matters more to you than raw cost, a wheeled tiny home is going to serve you better than any of these permanent options. Before we wrap up, a few things I'd flag if you're actually considering one of these listings. Watch the shipping and freight cost. A $650 sticker price can turn into $900 or $1,000 out the door once freight is added, especially for something this size and weight. Always get the true landed cost before you compare it to anything else. Check the steel gauge. Not all arch kits are built equal. Thinner gauge steel is lighter and cheaper, but dents more easily and has a shorter realistic lifespan. If a listing doesn't specify gauge, that's worth asking about directly before you buy. Confirm your local permitting requirements before you order, not after. This is the single most common regret I hear about with small structure builds. Someone gets the shell up, starts finishing it out, and then finds out their county requires a permit and inspection for anything with permanent electrical or plumbing, which can mean retroactive changes to work that's already done. Budget for the vapor barrier and insulation from day one, even if you're planning to finish the interior later. Leaving a steel shell bare for an extended period, especially through a humid season, is how you end up with a rust and mold problem before you've even started the fun part of the build. So, is the $650 mini Quonset perfect for anyone wanting a tiny home, like the marketing suggests? Not exactly. And I think being straight with you about that is more useful than just repeating the headline. What it actually is, a genuinely affordable, genuinely strong starting shell that can become a tiny home with real additional investment. Realistically, $6,000 to $20,000 depending on how finished you want it and how much of the work you do yourself. For the right buyer, someone doing a phased sweat equity build, or someone who just needs a solid small structure to build out over time, this is one of the more honest bargains in the alternative housing space right now. For someone expecting a finished home for $650, it's going to be a disappointing surprise. That's the real story behind this listing. And honestly, that gap between the headline price and the real cost is something you'll see across almost every cheap tiny home video on YouTube, which is exactly why I break these numbers down instead of just repeating the price tag. If this kind of honest cost breakdown is useful to you, that's genuinely the whole point of this channel. I'm building out a full library of these barn dominiums, prefab kits, passive cooling systems, alternative builds, always with real numbers, never sponsored. So if you haven't already, subscribe to Homes and Haven, and I'll see you in the next one.